Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. I hope you all have had a terrific day so far. I know I'm coming off of a super busy weekend. We went fishing this weekend, and what was supposed to be one day turned out to not getting home until 10 o'clock last night. So I'm happy to say I have a ton of halibut to process tonight on top of getting ready for summer camp. I'm super glad that Dr. Natalie agreed to join me today for this Facebook Live. And this subject is near and dear to my heart. It's a subject that I'm speaking on at summer camp, and that is unstoppable or average. And the reason it's something that's near and dear to my heart is that I truly believe and I've seen that it kills the human spirit to accept average. So, Natalie, welcome.
Hi.
It's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes.
So let's talk about, you just joined the boot camp in the last month.
Yes.
And hey, and there's Dr. Jessie. Talk about somebody who refuses to be average. That woman is incredible. Um, what what was the primary reason that you said, let's get on the phone together?
Well, really, it came down to the fact that I just wasn't growing as quickly as I wanted to. I opened my practice just after Thanksgiving last year, and so it just wasn't getting up and going like I expected it to. And I knew that I needed the push to really get going.
Nice. And in that time, did you hear from people around you of, hey, you know what? Like lots of businesses fail. So the fact that you're still afloat, be proud of yourself.
Right.
Or, you know what? It takes a long time to get to profitability, or some of the other things. Like what's the rush? You have a lifetime, or all of these other dog hair
Mm-hmm.
that we hear. What are some of the things that you heard other people say to you, or that just like kind of popped up into your head?
Yeah. So one of the things was, if you even make a profit within the first year, then you're doing better than most small businesses. If you're breaking even, you're doing good, things like that. But I wanted to do more. I want to be a super successful business within the first year and not just break even.
Nice. Because why would we do that? Why would we take the risk of being entrepreneurs just to break even, like to not take any money
Yeah.
home? That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me. So tell
Yeah.
us about your journey. What, during our
So,
call, what really
mhm.
stuck with you that made you believe more in yourself?
um, I think the fact that, you know, I I'd already made that decision even before we got on the phone call. I was already ready to take that next step, and then everything that we discussed just reaffirmed that I was going in the right direction. Really diving into, changing my mindset and things like that as a basis of where to start before I can even think about really being successful. So I think it all really started with just changing my mindset was a big thing for me.
Nice. And what mindset changes have happened?
Um, Really, I think what has changed the most is how I view my success and what I now define my success as, and having a clear picture of where I want to be so that I can figure out how to actually get there. Because I think before, I didn't really have a clear picture of what I wanted my success to look like. And so there was no way I was ever going to attain that because I didn't know where I was going.
Nice. It's kind of like, I really want to go to dinner, but I have no idea what the address is.
Hmm.
Fabulous. That's going to be a futile experiment of wasting time, gas, and what, like all of those things, right? And
Yes.
and what have you learned in the boot camp that's helped you really get clear and concrete about where you're headed?
So it started, I think, with kind of like that first day of going through and setting my goals and writing down what my fears were and what was making my hit my terror barrier and keeping me from moving past that. So defining my fears has helped a lot. And then the week with Dr. Alok has really just even spurred it on further. I think that's after that week was when things really started to change for me in my mindset.
Mhm.
Um, when he said, there's no such thing as introvert, extrovert, I was just like, I've always been told I'm an introvert, and I've always told myself I'm an introvert. And to really just let go of that alone, I think has made a huge difference for me because I no longer see myself that way. And I think that comes across to my patients and everyone that I am interacting with.
That is so awesome. And it's so interesting how those labels like start defining who we are. Like, oh, you're a procrastinator.
Hmm.
No, you just have habits that indicate that you don't use your time wisely. Or I'm
Yep.
an introvert. Well, what does that mean? I remember um, there was a Facebook discussion on a women's page several years ago about the whole introvert extrovert. And one of the arguments that women were trying to make, and hey, Cindy, hey, Paula, hey, Jess, thank you so much for joining us, ladies. One of the big like substantiations for being an introvert was that at the end of the day, after being with people all day, these female chiropractors really wanted to go home and just unwind and not talk to anybody. I'm like, that's not an introvert. That's called health. Like just having to, I think of like in scripture in the New Testament, it talks about like Jesus having to even get away. Like, I just got to have a
Mhm.
break. I need just a little time to myself, collect my thoughts, get my energy back. So that's not being an introvert. But if these things, like we've been told you're an introvert, then if we step outside that, it's like, ooh, or like, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Right. So now
Hmm.
do you still see yourself as an introvert? And if not, in what ways are you like, nope, not me?
Um, let's see. So, what ways do I still see myself as an introvert
No,
or
you see that
no?
like, I'm not an introvert.
Yeah. Um, I think, when it really comes down to talking to practice members and people coming in, um, I get really excited about talking the truth about chiropractic and how we can help them because before, I think, when I saw myself in more that introvert mindset, it was, oh, they may not accept what I'm saying, or I may not get the point across the way that would help them understand the best. But now it's just more like I'm just going to talk and, you know, if they need more explaining, then we'll dive deeper into it. But I'm not letting my view of myself hold me back from trying to explain anything to them because that's not doing me any service and it's not doing them any service.
Nice. That's awesome. So do you feel more like powerful and confident? So many times I'll hear from
Yeah.
doctors, oh, I just want to be more confident. I'm like,
Yeah.
great. Like, what are you doing to build your confidence? And they typically say like personal development. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And a
Hmm.
call I was just on, I said, building confidence would be like me watching somebody work out at the gym, expecting that my biceps are going to get bigger.
Yes.
Doesn't work like that, right? But it also has to be more than just busy work, right? Like there has to
Hmm.
be like actual planned steps that we go and do, and we have a result that's anticipated, and then we either did it or we went better or we didn't hit it, right? So we never lose, we either win or we learn. So then
Hmm.
if we have that mapped out and we do it, our confidence goes up. But if we never have a plan that we follow, or if we never have these systems, then we're only ever left up to our emotions, right?
Right.
And then our emotions say, well, you kind of did it. Well, that doesn't build confidence because there's no real knowingness.
Hmm.
Paula said, I love how Alok gave us permission to let go of the stupid labels. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Were there other labels that came up for you, Natalie, that you looked at and just said, no, not going to work?
Um, really, the introvert extrovert was the biggest one that I kind of held on to for the longest. So that would go up. I really don't know of any other labels.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So when you joined the boot camp, you first opted for monthly payments, and in less than a month, you paid off your entire investment. So you started with the mindset of all go monthly. You grew, implemented, executed to generate the income, and then in less than 30 days, have the whole thing for your entire boot camp. Oh, there's Chelsea. Membership paid off. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So, many times we make decisions obviously based on where we're at right now versus where we're going, right? What was it that made you say, all right, so maybe I'm not making that income now, but I know I have to do this in order to get over there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what it was that made your brain say that? Because if your brain hadn't said that, you would have been like, I'm not making enough now. I'm definitely not going to make enough in the future.
I don't know that it was really one moment. I think just kind of through the first month and seeing already the changes that was, that I was seeing in myself and my practice, um, I knew this was right where I needed to be, and I wanted to go ahead and full on take care of everything up front so that I didn't, have the monthly payments, because I know it's coming and it's already starting to really take off. And so I know that this is exactly where I needed to be.
That's awesome. What's changed in your personal life as a result of this newfound confidence and uh, planned action in your practice?
So, before this, I've never really been the type of person to like write down my goals and look back over them and see what's changed, since I wrote them down to, am I taking those steps toward those goals every day? And so since joining the boot camp, I have like gone back and looked at what I wrote down like week 1, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm already seeing those changes in my everyday life even, and I feel like I am making those steps every day towards those goals. And so it's really put it into a really good perspective to actually have put it down on paper and be able to go back and see it again, because I've seen the changes from that first week to now already. And so it's just been very encouraging for me already to see what's changed.
Isn't that fun? It's so fun to go, oh my goodness. Like I've already made so many improvements and transformed in such a small amount of time. Does it make you so excited for like the next 30 days? And oh my gosh, can you imagine where I'm going to be in a year?
Yeah.
Right?
Is, it's really, I mean, it's crazy. I was even talking to my mom about it just the other day, and I was telling her, my big goal in a year is, to see this many people in a week. Well, I'm already a third of the way to that goal within 1 month. So really honestly, I mean, I could already be at that goal within the next 6 months and then double that within the next year. So it's kind of that was kind of like an aha moment for me. Like, I've already come a third of the way in 1 month.
Yeah.
So
That is
that's been
so
really awesome.
exciting. So exciting. And has it been like when you're home, do you find that you have an excitement, like you've traded fear for excitement about business?
Yes.
Because when we don't know what to do in our offices and we go home and we still don't know how to make it better in practice, right? And I have found that individuals report to me again and again that when they're in the boot camp, they're still thinking about practice all the time, but it's like, I can't wait versus, has that
Yes.
happened to you?
Yep. Yeah, I go home at night now and I tell my husband, I saw this many people this week, or, I've had this many new patients come in and they're all wanting to sign care plans and things like that. And so it's more of, it's an excitement and I'm getting that momentum and I'm even like spreading that and sharing that with my family. And so they're seeing my excitement, which just gets them excited and all too. So it's just great.
That is awesome. Well, I'm so proud of you. And look at all the love we have from the tribe. Tabor is with
Yeah.
us, week 5 coach. Kim Kimsley is with us. She is creating actually a week on yoga, which I'm super excited to have that in our tribe so that we're all taking good care of ourselves. Jamie just joined us. Welcome, welcome. So, as we wrap this up, what advice do you have for the chiropractor who's watching this and they're like, yeah, like I'm already in a coaching program or I've tried a management, like they're all the same. What would you say to that person?
I mean, honestly, I had some of those thoughts coming into this as well. And within the first couple of days, it was amazing how much information, just to see the amount of information that's available, and then to start working through it and diving deep into that first week. I mean, things in my mindset were already changing because I already thought, I have good systems, I've got great paperwork, I'm a one woman show. I feel like I've, got that part down, but I just need a little help on how to talk to patients. Well, it's been even so much more than that. It's how I talk to myself and how everything has just changed from within. Because to be honest, I there's not a whole lot physically that I've changed about my practice. It's all been changes within myself and my mindset, and this is already how far I've come in a month. So to see what's coming, just gets me really excited.
Absolutely. I firmly believe practice growth is dependent on personal growth,
Yes.
right? Like I had someone say to me recently, oh, my practice just isn't growing. And I was like, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not growing and we're the central element of our practice, how can we expect it to grow? And
Right.
and just to be clear with all of you, personal growth isn't just listening to stuff, right? Because it's like in week 1, reason, conflict, terror barrier, reason, conflict, terror barrier. And it can't be just like, I'm just going to do little things. I'm in, right? Like
Yeah.
if it's going to be, it's up to me and I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I don't find that there are too many people who have regrets for going all out versus those who just barely get by. It's one of the things, I don't know if you were on the call on Wednesday. I was talking about, can you imagine if your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with said to you, whatever your commitment, this is maybe not as much towards Natalie as those who are watching. So if you take your commitment to success last week, and if the person you're in a relationship with, your spouse or whomever, said like that was their commitment level to your relationship, would you be happy? Would you be satisfied? Would that be okay with you? And if it wouldn't be okay for somebody else to treat you, why is it okay for how you treat yourself? Right? Like we want people who are in relationship with us, especially our spouse, we want them to be all in, right? We want
Mm-hmm.
them to be full out. And so that's what we have to do for ourselves in order to get the best results. Let me ask you something. Do you feel that being all in and as hard as we drive in the boot camp, does it mean that your personal life is being sacrificed, or do you feel instead that it's enhancing your practice life?
Definitely enhancing, even in my personal life. I don't feel like it's taken away anything from, the time that I spend, with my husband or with my family. Um, because, like one of the points that you made in the first week is that, you prioritize things and you schedule it in. And now that my work schedule is getting fuller, you know, I have to schedule other things. And so that's been very beneficial because then when I'm there and, whether it's a scheduled time or whatever, I'm completely there. And so
Mm.
quality hasn't diminished at all. It's just a matter of when I'm at work, I am all in at work and I'm completely focused. And then when I'm with family or friends, I'm completely focused. So it's not, quality isn't an issue at all.
That's awesome. And really time, we all have the same inventory.
Mm-hmm.
We all start every morning with the same amount. So the difference in our results is how we use that inventory. Those 24 hours that we have, we're all in using that time,
Yeah.
or we're not. And we never get to go back. So use our time wisely. That's why it's one of the first trainings in the boot camp is time. That's for sure. Hey, Natalie, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you to all in the boot camp. I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday at summer camp. And Natalie, keep up the great work. I'm super, super proud of you. And thanks again. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye.